Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me for pricing. My email is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra that is indisputably a ladies model, oftentimes with watches that are between 36 and 38 millimeters. I'll describe them as mid-size watches, sometimes even at 34 to 35. But this watch at 34 millimeters in diameter and only 39.9 millimeters lug-to-lug is not a mid-size. It is expressly marketed towards women. 12.7 millimeters thick with a 16 millimeter spacing between the lugs. You can also see it is quite petite. A timepiece that wears true to its size, very compact on the wrist and super short across the wrist. For either a lady or a child, this is going to be an easy fit. And you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, which is normally pretty small, this watch appears to be dwarfed. Now the timepiece is flat enough with a sloped bezel that it'll slide underneath the cuff, so you'll have no trouble wearing this underneath a sleeve. If you want to wear it as a sports dress watch, it is a great all-rounder. Taking one last quick look at the cuff shot and then over the top one time, you can see plenty of clearance on each side. The strap is high grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather matte finish conforming to the profile of the case, so it closes the gap for a highly integrated look. That does add a little bit of stiffness, but I can still recommend this watch for a wrist of any size. Taking a look at the buckle, it is a folding clasp. You can see full polish, twin trigger release, a miniature version of that used on larger Omega watches. Fully polished inside with satination over the Omega logo. It actually grips and clasps the excess length, so when you set it to size, there's no need for external minder loops. All the excess length tucks underneath the clasp body as well as the strap. The strap is a brand new Omega factory strap with calfskin on the bottom. It has black gator on the top with a folded edge and a monotone stitch. Here we have the well-known lyre style lug seen on many Omegas since the early 1960s. That means we have an inward bevel but also an outward bevel, with the outward bevel being polished. The mid case is longitudinally satinated. We have a slightly inwardly stepped conical bezel profile, a somewhat countersunk, partially shielded screw-down crown, which you could see outboard features both polishing and media blasting. The watch is 150 meters water resistant. It's also quite well lumed, and we can see that luminescence right here. Bonus points for looming all three hands, Omega, so you know even in the dark whether your watch is running. The dial is of high quality. You can see that the Omega logo, as well as the frame for the date and the indices themselves, have been faceted, finished, and applied. So these are not printed features. It's an upscale dial with 3 dimensions. We have a vintage-inspired broad arrow style minute hand, and then the vertical striations are Omega's first generation teak deck concept. So simulating the deck of perhaps a porch or a yacht. This is the surf and turf Seamaster, not necessarily a hardcore dive watch, but one that you could wear at sea, but also ashore in high style. Now on the reverse side, we see the rarely used 8520 mini movement. It is a small coaxial chronometer caliber made by Omega for smaller applications, so the movement is properly sized to the watch. It's a automatic winder with a 50-hour power reserve. It features stop seconds as well as a quick set date. It beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, because that is the Swatch Group standard beat rate for a watch with an anti-magnetic silicon hairspring, which this has. It has a full balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for precision of adjustment and shock tolerance. And it features the George Daniels coaxial escapement system for improved power reserve, reduced maintenance requirements, and improved chronometry. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer, and it pivots on 28 joules. You can see it's nicely finished, mechanically finished, but handsomely, with spiral arabesque Côte de Genève. There's a sunburst pattern on the ball bearing at center, solarization as it's sometimes called. We have blackened screws, but we also have polished screws, and there's engine turning on the base plate. There's also a machined bevel. It's machined, but neat and attractive. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this ladies 34mm stainless steel Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra.